In the searing heat of Egypt's western desert, deep beneath the sands of Sakara, a team of archaeologists uncovered something that defied every expectation. It wasn't gold, it wasn't a sarcophagus, it was a machine. Or at least, something that looked disturbingly like one. Resting in a sealed chamber beside a 4,000-year-old noble's tomb lay a strange object of copper and stone fitted with tiny, precise grooves. Grooves that could only have been cut with technology far beyond what ancient Egypt was supposed to have.
And that's where the mystery begins. When the object was first unearthed in 2018, its discoverers believed it to be ceremonial, perhaps an offering or a ritual instrument. But as engineers and material scientists examined it more closely, they realized something unsettling. Its geometric precision was impossible for its time. Even under a microscope, the tool marks were near perfectly parallel, as if produced by a modern lathe. But how could a civilization that existed millennia before the invention of the wheel in Europe create such precision engineering? Some called it the Sakara device. Others whispered another name, the impossible machine. The discovery reignited a century-old debate about the technological capabilities of ancient Egypt. For decades, Egyptologists have marveled at the precision of their stonework, from the perfectly cut granite blocks of the Great Pyramid to the mysterious tube-drilled cores found at Giza and Abydos. But this device was different. It wasn't architectural, it was mechanical. Made of copper alloy and inlaid with a brittle type of crystalline quartz, it seemed to fit together like components of a larger system. X-ray analysis revealed a hollow central shaft lined with a material resembling hardened resin, a kind of primitive insulator. Modern metallurgists were baffled. Some suggested it could have been part of an early electrical experiment, much like the enigmatic Baghdad battery discovered in Iraq. Others dismissed that idea as fantasy, but the object's symmetry and function were undeniable. It was engineered, not carved. So who made it, and why? To understand this enigma, we must return to the Old Kingdom, the Pyramid Age, around 2400 BCE. Egypt was flourishing under the rule of Pharaoh Djedkare-Isisi, a period known for both architectural innovation and an explosion of scientific experimentation. Recently translated inscriptions from the nearby tomb of Ptahhotep, one of Djedkar's viziers, describe artificers of the House of Life who worked in secret to command the flow of the sun. Scholars once thought this referred to astronomy, but some now wonder if it hints at something more tangible, the harnessing of energy. Intriguingly, a fragment of text found near the same site refers to a vessel that hums when the light touches it. It's poetic, perhaps metaphorical, or could it describe a primitive electrical effect? Quartz, after all, is piezoelectric. It generates a small electric charge under pressure or vibration. Could ancient engineers have stumbled upon this property thousands of years before modern science rediscovered it? But this is not the first time such impossibilities have been found buried in Egypt's dust. In 1898, a wooden model was uncovered in Sakara, one that looked suspiciously like an aircraft. Known today as the Sakara bird, it has been studied for decades. Its aerodynamic form puzzled early archaeologists, and in 2006, an Egyptian aerodynamics engineer named Khalil Messiha tested replicas in a wind tunnel. The results? The model generated lift. Some researchers suggested it could have been an ancient glider prototype or a ceremonial symbol of flight. But combined with the newly found device, the implications become even stranger. Could these artifacts represent a forgotten age of experimental science? And yet, each discovery comes with a warning, a reminder that mystery often hides behind familiarity. In 2023, ground-penetrating radar surveys around the Sakara necropolis revealed a second sealed chamber beneath the same complex, one that has yet to be opened. The readings show a collection of metallic objects arranged in a near-circular formation, unlike any burial pattern previously seen. Egyptian authorities have kept the details tightly controlled, citing the need for preservation, but internal reports leaked to academic circles mention non-funerary artifacts of indeterminate purpose. For many, the question is no longer whether these objects were symbolic, but whether ancient Egyptians possessed an understanding of physics and energy that modern scholars have yet to credit them for. Archaeologist Dr. Zahi Hawass, though skeptical of sensational claims, acknowledged the craftsmanship's precision as beyond what copper chisels alone could achieve. Meanwhile, materials engineer Dr. Mohammed Saeed at Cairo University ran 3D scans of the device and concluded that its geometry reflects rotational symmetry consistent with manufactured components, not random or decorative carving. If that's true, it suggests the presence of tools and techniques completely undocumented in ancient records, a hidden chapter of Egyptian innovation lost to time. What's more, the quartz inlay shows microfractures consistent with exposure to high-frequency vibration, the kind generated by sound waves or alternating current. Could this be evidence that the ancient Egyptians used resonance, sound, or vibration as part of their engineering process? Recent discoveries in the Great Pyramid seem to hint at just that. In 2024, acoustic researchers from the University of Leuven conducted resonance mapping inside the king's chamber and found that its granite walls amplify specific frequencies with remarkable precision. The chamber itself behaves like a massive tuning cavity, capable of converting sound into energy through vibration. If the Egyptians understood and harnessed these properties, perhaps the Sakara device was part of a system, a machine built not for power, but for resonance, for manipulating sound or light in ways we barely understand. It sounds impossible, and yet the evidence mounts. Could it be that Egypt's greatest secrets were not in its tombs, but in its technology? Were these artifacts symbols of divine power, or tools of scientific mastery that vanished with time? One thing is certain: every new excavation pushes the boundaries of what we believe ancient people could do. The sand still hides countless relics of genius, objects that whisper of a forgotten sophistication, a knowledge not yet rediscovered. And beneath Sakara, that sealed chamber still waits. Its contents remain untouched, its secrets unspoken. When it is finally opened, what will we find? Another statue? Another relic of faith? Or another device that shouldn't exist? The mysterious device found within that ancient tomb challenged everything we thought we knew about Egypt's past. But it was only the beginning. Beneath the sands lies an even greater enigma: the Osirion, a structure built with technology that seems to defy logic itself. Join me as we uncover how this impossible engineering could have existed thousands of years ago.
Here we are at the Osirion, possibly one of the most impressive sites in Egypt, possibly the world. This is officially dated to the time of Seti I, which would have been completely roofed over, thousands of tons of stone in this whole construction, and it really is something to behold.
Hidden deep in the desert sands of Abydos, approximately 350 miles south of the Great Pyramid of Giza, stands the Osirion, a monumental structure shrouded in mystery. Its origins, purpose, and design have baffled archaeologists and researchers for decades. Unlike the well-known temples of ancient Egypt, the Osirion defies traditional pharaonic architectural norms, leading some to believe it could be the product of a much older, technologically advanced civilization. Could this ancient structure hold the key to a forgotten chapter of human history? The first puzzle presented by the Osirion lies in its striking architectural divergence from typical Egyptian temples. While most temples of the pharaonic era adhere to a linear rectangular layout, the Osirion's design breaks the mold with its unique L-shaped configuration. This anomaly alone raises critical questions about the intentions behind its construction. Was it built for a different purpose than Egypt's standard religious edifices? Or does it reflect the architectural style of an unknown, perhaps much older culture? Adding to the mystery is the Osirians' relationship with the nearby temple of Seti Prayus, built during the 19th dynasty. Archaeological evidence suggests that the Osirian predates the temple of Seti Ras by centuries, if not millennia, implying that the site held significant importance long before the reign of Seti. This ancient structure was already in place when Seti chose to build his temple beside it, as though honoring an ancient relic from a bygone era. What made the Osirion so significant, and why did it attract the attention of the Egyptian kings? The sheer scale of the Osirion is awe-inspiring. The core of the structure is composed of massive rose granite blocks, some of which weigh an astonishing 100 tons. These immense stones were quarried from Aswan, located over 200 miles to the south, a logistical challenge that seems insurmountable given the tools and technology traditionally attributed to the Egyptians of the time. Moving these massive blocks across hundreds of miles of desert, and then precisely positioning them in a desert location far from the Nile, is a feat that defies explanation. Without evidence of advanced machinery, how were these massive stones transported and assembled with such precision? The Osirians' architecture, featuring a sophisticated double-layered roofing system and interlocking wedges, suggests a level of engineering knowledge far beyond what ancient Egypt is known to have possessed. The use of granite, a hard and unforgiving material, only adds to the mystery. Working with granite requires advanced tools and knowledge, skills that, according to historical records, the Egyptians had not yet developed during the early dynastic periods. Another striking feature of the Osirian is its complete lack of Egyptian hieroglyphs or artwork. In contrast to nearly every other Egyptian temple or monument, which are richly decorated with carvings, inscriptions, and illustrations, the Osirian is eerily bare. Throughout Egypt's history, temples were frequently renovated, with each generation adding new inscriptions and artwork. Even more unusual is the Osirian's subterranean layout, which is highly uncharacteristic of Egyptian temple architecture. The entire structure lies 15 feet below ground level, leading some researchers to propose that the temple could be far older than its surrounding counterparts. The idea that it predates the buildup of sand and soil that has accumulated over millennia suggests a timeline stretching back to an era before the sands of Egypt's desert even existed in their current form. Water erosion patterns found on the limestone enclosure surrounding the Osirian add yet another layer to the mystery. Some researchers argue that these erosion marks could only have been caused by a much wetter climate, possibly dating the structure back to the end of the last ice age, when the region experienced more rainfall. If true, this would place the Osirian's construction over 10,000 years ago, far earlier than the dynastic Egyptian civilization. Perhaps the most intriguing feature of the Osirian is the presence of water within the structure itself. Modern seismic technology has revealed that the visible portion of the Osirian is only the uppermost part of a much larger complex, which extends at least 50 feet below the current floor level. Beneath the surface, seismic tests have indicated the presence of hollow chambers, which have yet to be explored due to the water that continually fills the site. Despite multiple attempts, archaeologists have been unable to drain the water, which seems to replenish at an alarming rate. The source of this water remains unknown, and its continuous flow presents a baffling enigma. Some researchers suggest that the Osirian's complex hydraulic system, which includes channels, basins, and possibly sluices, was designed to control and manipulate water flow within the structure. The precision of these features points to an advanced understanding of hydraulic engineering, something not typically associated with ancient Egyptian technology. While the Egyptians were known for their use of irrigation canals and basins for agriculture, the Osirians' water management techniques are far more sophisticated. The mysteries of the Osirian continue to deepen as researchers attempt to unlock its secrets. The constant replenishment of water within the structure defies explanation. James Westerman, a renowned archaeologist and historian, has spent decades studying the Osirion. His efforts to pump out the water from the structure have been met with frustration. Even with a pump capable of removing 500 gallons of water per minute, the water level continues to rise, seemingly replenishing itself faster than it can be removed. Westerman's words capture the perplexity of the situation. Water is emerging from inside the structure. This shouldn't be happening, especially in the desert. Something strange is going on here. In 2023, Westerman's team employed advanced technology to analyze the water within the Osirion, measuring its pressure, temperature, conductivity, and chemical composition. The results were astounding. The water in the Osirion was found to have a unique chemical profile, different from the surrounding wells and aquifers in the area. Westerman's research suggested that the water was being forced up through the structure, almost as though it were being propelled by some unknown force. The water's chemical composition and isotopic profile indicated that it did not originate from the nearby Nile River or local aquifers. Where, then, is this water coming from? The Osirion's water behaves more like that of a geyser, but without the typical signs of volcanic activity. Is there an underground spring or reservoir beneath the structure, or could the water be flowing from a deeper, as yet undiscovered source? One of the most intriguing aspects of the water is its unique properties. Westerman conducted hydrologic studies and found that the water within the Osirion was drinkable after filtration. Over time, Westerman began drinking the water regularly, and he noticed something extraordinary. His eyesight began to improve. A lifelong sufferer of nearsightedness, Westerman eventually no longer needed glasses, a fact that was confirmed by an eye test. Could the water from the Osirion possess healing properties? Westerman believes so and continues to drink the water, attributing his improved vision to its mysterious qualities. Yet another anomaly is the temperature of the water. The water outside the Osirion measures a consistent 16.9 degrees Celsius, but the water inside the structure is significantly warmer, measuring 23.8 degrees Celsius. This temperature difference defies the second law of thermodynamics, which states that heat cannot spontaneously transfer from a cooler to a warmer body. Something within the Osirion is heating the water, but no one knows what it is or how it is happening. As researchers continue to study the Osirion, its true scale and purpose remain elusive. What is visible today may only be the tip of the iceberg. The structure extends far beneath the surface, with hidden chambers still unexplored due to the constant flow of water. Could these underground chambers hold more secrets about the origins of the Osirion and its builders? As we probe deeper into the Osirion's mysteries, we are left with more questions than answers. One thing is certain: this ancient structure is far older and more complex than we ever imagined, and it may hold the key to understanding a lost chapter of human history. If you were captivated by today's video, then you're absolutely going to love our next adventure. We're diving even deeper into the mysteries of ancient Egypt, with Egyptologists discovered an ancient tunnel revealing tombs and something you'd never expect. Beneath Giza's sands, a groundbreaking discovery rewrites ancient Egyptian history. Egyptologists unearthed a water-filled tunnel, the Osiris shaft, predating the pyramids. What secrets does this ancient passage hold? What unexpected wonders lie within?
There's something called the Osiris shaft, which is located directly under the causeway between the Sphinx and the second pyramid. It goes about 100 feet underground. It's carved out of the limestone bedrock. It's the creepiest place I've ever been in my life. It's disturbing. So it's 3 different shafts, and you go down, and here's where it gets, this is the crazy part. When you get to the 3rd level, which is completely dark and freaky, there was a side tunnel. Zahi Hawass himself, there was a documentary, went down there, and he's standing in front of this tunnel that went sideways, and he says, it's yet to be explored, and I don't know what's down there, but Joe, they've since sealed it up. It's like cinder blocks, they sealed it up.
What?
Yes! There are things that have gone underground in Egypt that, for whatever reason, Joe, is just off limits to the public.